All right, so let's talk catalyst then. I think we all can laugh at Saylor 70 to 7 million. Maybe it's inevitable, but come on. Right. So, Tillman, Andrew, what do you think are potential catalysts here now, having seen SpaceX absorbed by the market and Bitcoin marginally up, right? It's nice to see yourself 10,000 off the floor, but you're still, 10% off the floor, but still, 20 something percent down from just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that utility is going to be the driving narrative of this next bull market, especially in crypto. And I think that Wall Street has started to look at Bitcoin as a very necessary collateral piece in the lending system. I think that's going to be the next boom for Bitcoin as it pertains to utility. When you can put Bitcoin up as collateral at lower rates and have an advantage to any other collateral, that's going to drive adoption. And I think we're really close to that. So I'm looking at the utility behind each coin as the primary driver for, total value locked at this point. And Bitcoin has proven to Wall Street that it can operate as kind of that core values underlying asset layer at the base of Web3. And when AI agents start doing a lot of commerce between one another, I think ultimately you have to ask what do people want to settle in? Ultimately settle in. What do they want to hold? I think Bitcoin's the obvious answer there. So I think utility is going to drive it. I think we just have to wait for it. I do think there's going to be a lot of competing narratives until we get there. I think AI in particular is going to suck a lot of the oxygen out of the room for a long time. And I actually think it's the very narrative that will allow us to print more dollars with reckless abandon, honestly, because it's almost a war we can't lose, and it's all about 10-year, horizons, and so we're going to have to spend all the money now so that we're not behind 10 years from now. And these data centers are something I've never seen before. I went and visited one, and it's just unlike it's like science fiction is the best way to explain it. And so if you just look at like the federal highway system and what it meant for domestic commerce, the next infrastructure build out that's needed is really these data centers, and what we're going to have to invest in that is going to be jaw dropping. I think it's going to be in the trillions of dollars in a very short period of time, and I think that it's justified. And, as long as we can make production or make value out of that, it will be able to inflate into it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of talk about the K-shaped economy, on a macro level. I think we absolutely are in the midst of that when it comes to retail crypto versus retail traditional finance. It's K-shaped in every way, shape, and form. You have over the last 2.5 years, I think we're up to 130 new highs on the S&P 500 over that time period. And we're definitely not that on the crypto side of things. And so, to Haseeb's points about there not being meaningful catalysts from the macro standpoint in the crypto space, I agree there. We are finding ourselves very bereft of potential catalysts, whereas some of the things that he mentions are meaningful catalysts when it comes to traditional assets, right? The adjustments as it relates to rates and Warsh. Again, a reminder that Warsh was put there for a very specific reason. My guess is he'll play out that reason for the first 6 to 12 months of his tenure there. But again, that will have much to do with traditional assets, equities, and the like. Will it trickle down to Bitcoin and other crypto assets? Not entirely sure. I think the biggest macro issue associated with crypto is most of the folks that invest in it, most of the folks that have spent some meaningful time adding it to their portfolio are frankly just pretty bored with it. They're just like, okay, I'm fairly allocated at this point. Nothing's all that exciting anymore. It was 1.5 2 years ago when I first started to really get into it, because BlackRock was getting into it, so let me take a look. And at this point, I'm moving on to other things.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when we had our own narrative. We didn't just have to go around the horn talking about the Fed.
Right.